not consider that unless the board, as they did with the New River Board, went behind my back and took me off the New River.
Nobody went behind your back on that, I was on that.
And
I'm
this,
sorry you feel that way,
this
but
is-
that was not done.
this is an opportunity for us to have two good board members. Dr. Khan has been representing mental health for 30 years. I have been representing mental health for 11 years. I have the ability to evaluate what goes on at Smoky. And whether all of you are aware or not, Commissioner Cox and I meet on a regular basis, and we share information that I think is invaluable. I think it makes him a better board member on New River, and it makes me a better board member on Smoky by sharing the information that he and I are able to share with one another. And it has been very beneficial, I think, to the Alleghany and citizens and the clients that he and I are able to have that type of communication. If you totally cut off that communication, I think you're lessening an input that he may receive from myself or Dr. Khan, and we have met twice with Dr. Khan to keep him abreast and to let him tell us how he has envisioned Smoky Mountain, because he served on it from the very beginning. And I think I'll let Commissioner Cox speak for himself, but I think he will tell you that it's been very valuable to him as a board member on New River to be able to have that input from both myself and Dr. Khan.
Well, I mean, it has. It has, but you know, these things go back before I was on the board, and I really tried to stay out of that as much as possible. I guess I'll just go back to the fact that I think we need to keep people on the Smoky board, to keep an eye on Brian Ingram and their operations, and I guess that's where it comes down for me.
Well, there's a motion on the floor, Mr. Chairman, and we have a second.
Okay, we have a motion
I'll call
and
for a vote.
second, other discussion.
I do want to say one thing before we get too far along in this. And I watched some of the things that went on a couple of years ago with some other boards, and I thought that it would be very easy to get to this point. And in fact, they let it be known that at this point there were going to be a lot of finger pointing going on. And the fact of the matter is, we're here in a situation, and I can't see that any one person or any one board had anything to do with. I don't think one person is that powerful, no disrespect. I don't think one person is that powerful. So I'm not going to go along with that. I don't have a problem with having a representative on the board at Smoky Mountain. I agree that we have to have some sort of representation there. So that's my thoughts on it.
And
So there's a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed to the motion say aye. Aye. 3-2, motion fails. Now again, I'll go back to the budget amendment number 13, hoping that we can get a motion that will move this forward in a positive way that will allow Martin Starnes to begin their work with finding out what they can about New River. And if necessary, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve budget amendment number 13 in the amount of $7,428. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4-1. Don, is that what you needed on the?
That's all I need, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else on the general business?
That's all.
Item I, Commissioners' business, would recognize Commissioner Goodrow to talk about item 1 under Commissioner.
And I think under item 1, we covered it with the request of the investigation by the State Bureau of Investigation. So I think we can go on to item 2 if that's all right.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yes, sir.
Item 2, archiving the videos of the county commissioners meeting. I'll recognize Commissioner Goodrow.
And where this came up, and this is just really for general discussion to see, you know, the feeling of the board. You know, I was under the impression really when these, you know, videotaping and Charlie sitting back there, that they're archived and they're kept, and that's not the case. I think he videotapes over them, you know, maybe the next meeting or shortly thereafter. And I would think it would, you know, since we're going to the expense and, you know, all of the effort, it would make sense to me anyway to archive them, you know, maybe for a period of 4 years, whatever, and, you know, could we save them at the library, you know, where somebody could go back and reference them, maybe. Since then, imaging specialist and Jeff Halsey has agreed to, you know, keep them from hence on all the way, you know, forward, so, you know, I don't know the legalities of that and allowing an outside source to keep them. I guess at the very least, I would like to see them in the county's possession somewhere, where someone could reference it and, you know, maybe pay the cost of producing, you know, a tape if they wanted to look at it, but certainly have them available, you know, to the public.
Didn't we have some conversation about this, of archiving them on the website? We did have that, I remember. I thought that was coming, we were heading toward that.
If we, hopefully where we're at, we just finalized, if you recall, we did a contract with ACTV. But that was contingent upon ACTV getting the appropriate insurance. That literally was done last week, or probably wasn't even last week, Charlie, I think he just did it last day or two. I know that ACTV was, the chairperson was going through, getting quotes, things of that nature. We will get that signed. In accordance with that contract, they will provide a digital copy to the county. And that, along with me just having time, we do have funds available to put our meetings on website up to, I believe, I hope I'm not misquoting this, I keep thinking it's 800 hours, but it may be 400 hours that we can archive. Now, I'm not sure how many years that is, but we can eventually do something to that respect. Charlie and I was having this conversation today. I'm actually gonna have to go sit down with them and get a better understanding. I need to go talk to Travis, is what I need to talk to, because I don't want a DVD format. We have to get it and convert it. Anyways, y'all don't care about this, you just want it on the internet. Guys, for me, it's a matter of timing. What we can do right now is get Charlie, just give us a DVD, if you want me to keep doing it for right now, until I can get time to get this thing on the internet, because what I need is about 3 or 4 days to sit down, go through. I need to sit down with Charlie and sort of train with Charlie to get him, I kind of, just for y'all's folk, I do this as a hobby on my own, just videoing and stuff like that, so I understand what's needed, how to convert it, all that. I need to sit down with Charlie, need to sit down with Travis, make sure they can get it in the specs that we need, and I need about 3 or 4 days to sit down. I found free programs for Karen to do the conversions that we need to do before we upload it. I gotta find 3 or 4 days or a week, just sit down and get it done, and then hopefully we can get it set up no different than how she uploads her agenda every week. Eventually we can do that, and but so in the meantime, if you want, I can start saving just get the DVDs and keep them in our office for right now. And
Is that acceptable to
Is
everyone?
Are you satisfied with that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Evans, from a legal standpoint, the minutes have to be the official documents of the county commissioners meetings.
That is correct. The only thing, what I've always been taught is that the paper copy is the legal document of the county commissioners meetings.
So the archiving would be a reference, just to go back and watch if you wanted to watch it.
Correct, same as the audio that I'm recording right now.
Is that satisfactory?
Yes, sir.
Item 3, I asked that it be put on there. At this particular point, I don't have the support to get that done, so I will table that request again. And item J is closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A3 legal, A4 economic development, A5 contracts, and A6 personnel. Would entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Make that motion.
Have a motion, have a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.